What I like about most, gun cases is that, maybe I'll take my hat off or put my hat on backwards. Like about most cases is that the gun's just kind of right there, like on the Planet Eclipse cases or the previous Lux case or, the Shocker era cases. You open that thing up and the gun's right there. But this does look really good. Like, it's really designed kind of well. I like how it's designed. It's that same kind of, like, plasticky, water-resistant material that pretty much all the Infamous products are made with. And you kind of get two things here. So this piece slides out. So you could just take that, I guess. You could just have this. That's what your gun's going to be in. There's also the other side that just slides out. You got your barrel, like barrel loops or whatever right there. And then inside here will be all the other random shit you get. So you get their spares kit, which is okay. I mean, it's not the biggest spares parts kit. It's pretty much typical. The Planet Eclipse ones are quite a bit larger, but that you're still going to get a good amount of O-rings in there. I mean, those amount of O-rings will last you quite a while. I mean, you don't really need to buy an O-ring kit for tens and tens of thousands of shots later. Barrel cover, Allen wrenches, grease. But I do like this. You could put more stuff in here than just this. I'm not going to probably keep my barrel cover in there. I have another spot where I keep my Allens at, so it's kind of cool. You could shove some batteries in there and, whatever. And we do have barrel. And the thing that I find very odd about these barrels is it is just a Freak XL insert. Or just a Freak XL barrel, I should say. Let's get rid of these things. Let's put them right there. The thing that I find very odd, though, and that I don't really like, is there's not actually insert sizes. We can see if we pull that up there. That says small and large bore. Which, I don't know. It's kind of annoying. So, like, I don't know what sizes these are. I want to buy some calipers. I used to have some calipers that I could actually measure that diameter of the barrel with. I don't have any, so I just got to buy some calipers, but I need them for something else, too. But that's kind of annoying, right? Like, I'd like to really know the sizes. So, like, if I, say, for instance, want to buy a couple more inserts, which ones do I buy? Do I buy, like, the extra large one and then, like, the extra small or something? That's just kind of annoying. And it's a little bit hard to kind of tell what size paint you need or what size paint you're using as well because of that, like, small, medium, or small and large bore, which is odd. Like the new barrel a whole lot. I really like how it's not cut on the back, and it's just kind of like a solid tube. Really reminds me of their ACP tip as well, the All Conditions Performance Barrel. I don't even remember what ACP stands for, but barrel looks good. And, okay, so I'm just going to kind of go, I guess, in order that I have this stuff written down. And we'll talk about this bad boy. Luxe Idol. Luxe Idol, yeah, they say this is the most redesigned gun they've ever made, but at the same time, it's still just a Luxe, right? It has that very similar silhouette of the Luxe. Trigger frame is essentially kind of the same. That foregrip is essentially the same. But they've definitely designed it differently. The foregrip, certainly I think adding those little ridges on there, I really like it. You can kind of get, I think, a better grip on them. It reminds me of the Virtue Ace, the Luxe Ace that Virtue and DLX kind of collaborated together with. Still got a lever feed neck. I'd say visually the biggest change that people are probably noticing right away, though, is that trigger, which I will talk about, and that trigger frame, right? I mean, obviously it has the OLED screen, and some things I noticed right away about the board. Let's try to zoom in a little bit. Some things I noticed right away, the board, it boots up faster. And I do have the speaker on still in the voice pack. And what the hell is not going to turn on now? Huh. Well, now it's not turning on. Okay. Well, yeah, when it turns on faster. The speaker, I think, is a little bit louder. I feel like the speaker's a little bit clearer. The voices are also faster. So if you do like that voice, I feel like it's a little bit more responsive and whatever. One of the reasons they did put that screen up there so that you can still get like a good grip on the gun, right? So the screen isn't like reducing how much you can get a good grip on that thing. I don't know what the hell's going on with this. So why won't it turn on? Some other things I guess we'll just go over right now to see if we can troubleshoot why this is not powering on. You can also remove that new back strap. So there's this whole back piece that's extremely hard to get off. If we zoom in a lot, it'll kind of help show these really sharp angles on this thing. So you're supposed to grab like this and just push this way to remove this whole back piece. But you can see like you're supposed to jam your fingers into this really like sharp edge. I mean, you can kind of see it right there. And yesterday after doing it for like 10 minutes, my fingers were absolutely killing me. So I don't think that like it's meant to come off easily, you know, like it just hurts because you have to jam your thumb in here. So we're gonna, oh God, see, look at that, it cut me right there. Jesus Christ. This whole unboxing experience is not going well. I got that cut on my finger yesterday too, in the same, like literally the same spot. And I thought I cut it on the actual barrel threads. Gee whiz. Okay. That's off. So yeah, once you get that back strap off, you can see that right underneath that OLED board is where you're going to charge USB-C. There's your battery right there, and you can see that little steel piece. It kind of folds back and allows the battery to. I am bleeding. It allows the battery to come out. So if we grab it out, you can fold that back and battery comes right out. But we're gonna push that battery in there and try to turn it on again. I mean, my thoughts with turning it on is maybe it's like not, it's seriously not powering on. Flip the battery. Did I have it in backwards? I didn't even, I very well could have, like an idiot. Oh man. I'm getting blood all over the gun. Hold on. My freaking thumb hurts. Okay, well, I'm an idiot and had the battery in upside down. So yeah, you can definitely see that screen. It's very bright, and I think should be much easier to see. Obviously, in this lighting condition too, it's going to be a little hard. But yeah, that screen's way brighter, so you're going to be able to probably read it easier than the rear OLED screen. Still probably not as good as a LCD screen, which I kind of prefer. So just like, let's just turn this off. So just like the TM40 before, you can remove this grip frame without tools. You just pop that up, slide that bar down right there, and trigger frame wiggles off. You still have toolless solenoid removal. And I really, really like these grips though. I found that these grips feel really good and they're just extremely comfortable. I'm a fan of the grips. They also just come off really simply, so you can just pull them off. And I found that there's certainly a best way to put this in order. Like if you have all of this apart, I think that taking the grips off, you really should probably remove the frame, because you can see those little tabs at the top of those grips. They actually slot in underneath the body. So if you have the trigger frame and the body on, like connected, it's a little bit difficult to get those tabs in there. You can kind of see that I've already kind of marred one up. It's supposed to be square like the one behind it. But it's definitely easier to put grips on first or take them off with like the body off, right? So we can put that trigger frame back on, and if we kind of squeeze the top of the grips, they will slide and slot under there pretty easy. And then the same thing kind of happens with that back strap. Back strap's really easy to put on, but you can kind of tell on the grips there how they slide under and slot into place. The grips kind of very seamlessly go over or go into that back strap. So these grips just feel really, really nice. Trigger shape, I don't like the shape of this trigger. I think that most of you guys who have used Luxes, it's going to kind of feel similar. Obviously, it's a little bit of a different shape, but the previous Luxes just kind of had that blade trigger that was essentially kind of straight. And this is kind of has that. I much prefer that like hump in the center that makes it a little bit more of a deuce trigger. Really like that. They've updated the on-off, so now it's much easier to use because it's so much wider. It's just considerably easier to get a finger in there. It goes all the way forward, whereas previously it didn't. It like stopped right there, so it was very easy to knock it and turn it on. So having it further forward like that, I really, really like. Yep, and they've also changed the bolt, but the bolt's going to be extremely, extremely similar to the Shocker Era. So on the Shocker Era, a few things they did to help really make it a little bit easier on paint was they added those holes or that air skirt to the back of the bolt that helps slow the bolt speed down a little bit so that when it makes contact with the paintball, it's less likely to break it. The shuttle or the spool's been a little bit redesigned. We're going to take that all the way out. They've also added that black piece right there, that new cone that eliminates paint rolling back. And just like the Shocker Era, there's now a place for that floating O-ring. If you move that O-ring to the back, it will increase the bolt speed. So technically the gun will cycle a little bit quicker, which is really kind of just good for mechanical guns. You're really not going to notice really much difference moving that back unless you're using mechanical and trying to shoot really fast. Yep. But it's a little bit lower, or it's a little bit easier on paint, just as the Shocker Era. That is the Luxe Idol. So I think in a lot of these guns, especially with really two of the manufacturers, with DLX and the Luxes and Planet Eclipse with, say, the CS3 and the 180R, I mean, really the CS3 and the 180R have a bolt that are extremely, extremely similar. The CS3 is just going to have a few more features that make it higher end, right? I mean, the grips come off better. I think the ergonomics are better. The trigger is definitely better. And you can say the same thing about the Idol compared to the Shocker, right? I mean, obviously the Idol's got that really big screen. It's got the rechargeable battery that can be charged to USB. It has toolless eye covers. Just some things that make it a little bit nicer and more premium when we compare it directly to the Shocker Era. So it's not like, you know, a whole different gun. It's just going to be like a much nicer and higher end version of kind of the Shocker Era, which, you know, I don't know. I think I kind of understand why the manufacturers do that, and I kind of get it. But at the same time, you know, I'd kind of like to see something that was maybe a little bit more unique, right? And not just like an upgraded version of some mid-range gun.